This is a book review of DC Comics, The Art of Darwyn Cooke, one of the best artists, I think, ever in comics. Sadly died in 2016. This book came out in 2018. It's the paperback version. There is a hardback version that's got a slightly different title, just to confuse. It's called Graphic Ink. And that book came out in 2015. How that's long out of print and very expensive, as far as I can see when I've checked and looked for copies. It doesn't come down to reasonable prices very often. So you got this book. What's in it? Well, 400 pages of comics, stories, as well as an introduction, and also some covers. Now, I'm not saying it includes every single cover, and it certainly doesn't include every single story by Darwyn Cooke, because there's lots of books that are not in here. Spirit comes to mind. Also, lots of the Catwoman stories, they're brilliant stories as well. And also Watchmen comes to mind, before Watchmen. So you've got this, and then you've got all the variety of the characters that he created. Weirdly, it looks like, first I thought, oh, Captain America would have been odd in a DC one, but anyway. You've got some more, obviously Star Spangled, you've got Green Arrow, Superman, etc. Got an introduction, you've got the contents as well. So there's the introduction. Now, another thing that's really quite good about this, and it's glossy paper, all the artwork is superb. It's colour all the way through, predominantly. There's some black and white, but very little. And you've got the showcase, his first, basically, work he did. So there it is. The prime eye, that was the thing he would go to and say, look, here's my sample, here's the work, and give me a job, kind of thing. Well, he also gives a lot of great description at the start, talking about all the various titles, so which is absolutely superb. And the covers are included in this. Also, this story, the inking is very unusual, very, very sparse style, but it really works. And it's a very short story, just great, beautifully, and also the colour palette as well, just great colour palette. Now, unfortunately, some of the pages stick together, so when I'm trying to turn the pages, I'm sort of struggling to turn the pages. My apologies for that. Oh, something back, I missed that one, because this is one of my favourite ones. So one page of comic. Now, I think this is the thing about an artist that can produce something that's brilliant in one page. The Toyman's Christmas List. Just what a great story. Beautiful colouring, brilliant Toyman, Superman, Lois Lane. You've got absolute superb story. Which other artists would do that? One pages. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I've seen books where the artists have done one pages and they really don't work. They're just sort of they're just basically a page of, oh, I can draw really well. Which is fine, of course. Nothing wrong with that. I love beautiful artwork. But if you're telling a story, sometimes you just look and think, there's no story there. Just one page. This tells a story that's just perfect. And he does this quite a lot of times in here. You've got very short stories, 5 or 6 pages, just tells them brilliantly. There's some brilliant covers again. Again, they tell the story as well. The covers are just glorious. Tallulah. And then you've got this really, I say, economical style, which I, of course, showed earlier. So I'm just going to, next one, black and white. Wow, just superb. Now, I wish DC had produced lots more black and white comics over the years, like Marvel did with their Marvel magazines. Would have been brilliant. DC had come out with a whole series of brilliant black and white magazines. I would have loved them. More things to buy, of course, unfortunately, but however, just a great story there. Now, this one wasn't such a, canary. I'm not really so, but quite often, a lot of these stories, it still tells a great story, but I would say it's not a story that I was sort of, you read it once, and I don't think I'd go back to reading it again, kind of story. But it's still fine, and the artwork is beautiful. Got another cover there, and then you've got this one. This one's, well, not much of a story, to be honest. This one is just a Bugs Bunny story, Daffy Duck. And the artwork, also the reproduction, is slightly odd. It's very rough. So I'm not certain what happened there, so very bit weird. This one is superb, though. This is more the Darwyn Cooke style that I'm familiar with, this sort of very intense, brilliant, just glorious. This Dr. Fate story is just beautiful. Got some great covers from New Frontier. I love New Frontier. The absolute New Frontier, probably one of my favourite all-time comics. Love getting that book out and reading that. Also, you've got a solo story in here as well from that, connected to that world. Just brilliant as well. Some more covers. And then you've got this one, The Phantom Quarterback. Again, a very simple story, very short. You've got this guy that's, he's a scientist, obviously in love with this woman, but of course the woman's in love with loads of other people. And, well, it's just beautiful, beautiful tale of Phantom Quarterback. This one's beautiful as well. It's sort of black and white, but in this case, yellow and black. And this is obviously about Darwyn Cooke, sort of semi-autobiographical story. This one's glorious as well. The artwork here, this woman in this bar. Just what a brilliant story. Just the colours as well. Just the use of pinks and blues and light blue. Just stunning. Oh, and again, I'm going to keep saying that all the way through the book because for me, this book is just awesome. It's got King of America, Cuba, 1956. Look at that, beautiful colours. Just the colours. Now, of course, probably not by Darwyn Cooke, probably other people obviously involved, Dave Stewart, etc. I don't know about this one particularly. But again, another thing that's I love. He uses inks just in such a beautiful way. You've got this sort of central figure here where you can obviously done in a more conventional style, and then around him you've got sort of like white ink, just beautifully done. I wish people would use that more. Pastel colours as well, and also pale, faded look, obviously for the sand, and you've got the jungle, you can see that, and then you've got the intense reds and the intense blues. This one's a great story as well. This is the thing about Darwyn Cooke. For me, it's just, even though there's danger, there's excitement, there's energy, there's also humour all the way through it. There is a humour that sometimes you just don't really feel in comics. You get, and I think with Darwyn Cooke there was just this humour that comes off every page nearly, everywhere. And I love this one with the Hoover. Just superb story. Just beautiful, beautiful story. This one's weird and, well, unusually done in the way it's done, sort of a very unusual art style. Again, this is the thing. All the way through, even though I always think, oh, Darwyn Cooke's got a particular style, there's lots of pages and stories that sometimes completely throw you. Let's look at that, déjà vu. Just where you got the story with, obviously, runs to his origin as well. And then you've got another origin story, really, because you've got Hal Jordan, where you've got, and the colours in this, again, just beautiful in the way, just the ink, everything is just drawn just so beautifully. Just really captures that spirit of the Green Lantern, how he became the Green Lantern. And then you've got this other, you've got spirit stories there. Got no spirit story, you've got the covers. And they're really brilliant volumes, two superb. Obviously, there's also the actual comics themselves. More covers. Just quickly get through the covers. Oh, some more black and white. I love that one as well. That's a very unusual story. Actually, that's a two-pager. Just a simple two-pager. Cousin Walter. Just a throwaway story that's just a gem to read. Now, you're getting on to, this is Darwyn Cooke doing this by Jimmy, I can't say his name, Palmiotti. My apologies if I said his name, and Justin Gray. And this is, of course, a brilliant Jonah Hex story. Now, I've actually just rushed off and bought the Jonah Hex omnibus. I'm not a mega Western fan, so I was a bit hesitant by it. But after reading these, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and get the omnibus. So, and there's some really brilliant Jonah Hex stories, absolutely brilliant. That's just a great story as well. We've also got another one just here going through. She's got to say, is there. What a beautiful colour palette. What a beautiful, the artwork again, very simple, different from the style again that I always associate with Darwyn Cooke, but it still works when you can look at it and immediately know it's Darwyn Cooke. More Darwyn Cooke, Jonah Hex stories, and this one's brilliant. Armistice Night. You've got Darwyn Cooke and Dave Stewart. The colour in this, it's just beautiful, as well as, of course, the story itself. Again, very short story where you've got all these characters like Roman centurions, you've got Civil War people, and so on and so on. Obviously, World War II. all obviously dead, they're all come back and just doing a sort of general fight between, obviously something they do every year. And, oh, look at that. Just, I'm not going to show that because that shows the end of the story. The iZombie, one of my I loved iZombie, the TV series, as well as the book. So also Thunder Agents, love Thunder Agents. And then, brilliant, of course, the Flash, variant cover, the Flash, one with reverse Flash. Oh, just Vigilante as well, just Vigilante. I mean, really a character, fairly obscure character, but just done so well. And just the way, the motion, the way all the characters are interacting in this. Again, still got sense of humour all the way through it as well. Ah, that's a great story as well. Oh, just brilliant. Again, all the colours and the artwork. Again, I should keep saying colours because that's, maybe they should bring out a book of the art of Dave Stewart as well, or whoever did the art. Colouring is very important, but I also like black and white, so I'm not saying that, but it does sort of, when you look at some of the colouring, it's just wow. But also the art is just beautiful as well. Very hard to sort of separate them sometimes. So then on to another story, Jonah Hex again. Oh, that's a pretty gruesome one. Star Spangled War Stories. I love that one. Another sort of Christmassy one with old Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn. Again, great sense of humour all the way through. It's a real fun story about Father Time. And then you got some, actually slightly odd because it's, I don't know how they were done actually. You've got them that way. That's for the various covers, variant covers. I see. It says variant cover for Catwoman 37. And you've got just a lot more covers, more covers, and you've got covers of obviously loads of different people. This one is the He-Man, the Eternity War. So you've got the obviously the Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, the Joker. I mean, just beautiful. You've got here, Sinestro, and so on, just all the way through. There's every page in this is a gem. And also you finish with the brilliant, and I love these ones. These are the omnibus covers. Just awesome. Just the pity is that he didn't produce thousands and thousands more, but of course, sadly, he died in 2016. Real, obviously, to his family and everyone, great loss, but it's also a great loss to the comics world as well, because he produced so many brilliant comics, and it is so sad that he's no more. So this, well, absolutely brilliant book. One of my favourites. I love this book, and it's been very hard to actually really do a book review of this because it's so good. I just think it's just the best, and there's so much in it that it's very hard to actually turn around and say, because I could keep just saying this is brilliant, this is brilliant, this is brilliant, this is brilliant all the way through it. And well, I loved it. Absolutely, totally recommended this book. The Art of Darwyn Cooke, masterpiece.